difficult to talk about dreams.
Talk right into there with your eyes.
You want me to hold this?
Hold it. Yeah. You want to close your eyes. Excellent. Okay.
So this is can I start now?
Yeah.
All right.
With my eyes closed.
Yeah. With your
Okay.
eyes.
So don't forget all the details because they slip away like watermelon
But most
seeds
of the
when you
dreams
try and hold
that
on
I
to them.
remember have more to do with
and we were driving along the
processing
freeway
what goes
among
on
all
at
these
work.
smokestacks, and we ended up going to this large gallery that was very huge and seeing this play, and I kept looking at my watch wondering when it was going to be over with, but it never ended. And I remember that Minneapolis was this really scary town.
I was
and
with
it was
my
just
friend,
huge
and
lots
we
of
were in a
smoke.
salon, and the hairdresser was gone, so I decided to cut her hair.
But then whenever we'd show up at a theater, because this is part of my job in real life, it would be very bright
and
not
it
like
was in
theater at all.
a point, so she looked like an elf, and it turned gray. And then somehow she lost all of her teeth.
That me,
So
Mom,
it was something
Becca,
out of a reality show where there's couple after couple getting married, and all of us were on these golf carts getting taken around the lobby of a great big hotel.
a rock star band, and I got lost on
And they
the
were
stage.
handing out wedding dresses, and mine happened to be this great big
Then
orange frilly
there was
satin
a table in front of
wedding
me,
dress.
and a bunch of food was there.
I was trying on swimsuits, and the tornado was bearing down, and I couldn't find a swimming suit that I looked good in. Damn it!
I couldn't,
And I
as of
just
the
kept trying on
mid-'70s,
suit
ever
after-
really
and the
clearly
thing gets-
distinguish
anyway.
between that which it is I've dreamt and that which it is I've
I
really
remember there was a kid
experienced.
talking about holding a shell and being able to fly like a tortoise shell, and it enabled him to fly over cities and stuff.
I don't know that the
And
line
then a week later, another kid said
is
he had the dream,
fine
and it was
so
totally by
much
word
as
of
to
mouth.
me
He got the dream.
indistinguishable, and
from
I'm
hearing it.
impressed by the fact that people still regard surreality and dream state and unreal and fiction as specifically polarized from fact.
I had a
don't
dream.
think they are.
For sure
I
enough, a
never
full
have.
tortoise. I grabbed onto a tortoise and I hung on to it and flew through the air over an entire I've tried to tell the story over and over again to get somebody else to have the same
So my
dream.
dreams now would be more like going to Walgreens in the same way that I'd recollect for you going to Walgreens to get
She's playing with a
candy
kid, and I go to
because
look
it's on
over at her
sale
kid
or
in the
just-
carriage, and her kid's actually dead. But she keeps playing with it, like it's alive, and then like there's all these shells surrounding her. When I come downstairs, and I walk in on her, and she's stitching body parts
This is
together.
World War II time, and I can remember yet somebody coming in, officers or whatever.
The most vivid dream I can
coming
recall was the bombing of Dresden, and I was riding through it on a very futuristic train.
And they had something new coming out, and there's something new coming out. I didn't know what it was then. I found out later it was radar.
And all the buildings were burning and melting in this beautiful green.
What would have happened in my life if, at that time, I'd have gotten in the service when I wanted to go in, with what I knew, what background I had, if I'd have gotten in then, and I dream about this. It comes back every so often, hey, you saved the world or some stupid damn thing, I don't know
There was
what.
a Tyrannosaurus Rex with
years
laser beam
ago.
eyes that stepped on my family and killed all of them, except for me.
Going down to my basement to use a telephone, and when I picked up the phone, I kept hearing my old friend Bob Reedy talking on the phone, and I was asking him to get off because it was like we had a party line or something. And then I went to several phones in the house, and wherever I went, he was always on my phone.
But
He was
it's
talking to all
Christmas
these
Eve.
people
I'm trying to buy a
through all
present
these
for my
phone
mother and my
lines.
sister, who's really picky. My mother's deceased, but she's always in the dream. And I'm trying to buy them Christmas presents, and every store one by one closes
A
on me.
mutual friend called me and told me that my friend Bob Reedy had just died
I was in this car,
the night before
and
last.
the seatbelts were like a T-shirt, but a seatbelt, and I felt really safe at the time. And I was with my very good friend from California, and we were in this it was like
one involved being in a really
sailboat kind of, but
big house
a car.
and living with a family that I didn't know, and I had become really close with them. And then in the second part of the dream, they were all made out of cast stone, kind of.
And we went underwater,
and
there were all these,
but they were still
very
living,
grotesque
and they're
little
moving
sea creatures.
in these
And
huge stone bodies.
They started swimming into my mouth, and it was horrible, 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 horrible. And I was swimming
And
into
there's
them
some kind of curse
help it
going on in the dream that was brought forth when one of the people fell and broke.
And I'm with some friends who don't fly, but they're, as usual, they're kind of like, oh, flying, yeah, that's great, I guess. Then I'm just walking along the street, and I think, oh, you know what? I can't fly. This must be a dream, but I'm going to stay here.
At this restaurant,
and so then
we walked in as a big group,
walking along the street,
and they
knowing
seated
that
us
I'm
at a big
everything.
round table. But actually, there wasn't enough room for everyone, and I was the one there
and
wasn't enough room
walking
for.
Along, and it's like 4 or 5 of my friends, and they just seem to be people from,
They
from the
seated
past.
me at a separate table that was way far away from the big table over by
hey,
the door.
You know what? I'm having a dream. And I walk up to a platter of what looks like orange watermelon, and I say, I made this. It's Martin melon. Everyone have some Martin melon. Yeah, there's some lady that's like a barker talking about stuff, and I say, I made her. Martin melon for everybody.
And then this group of folks come by, and
then I
and one of them is Quentin Tarantino. And so I get up from my seat at the table, and I start talking to him and telling him about how much I like
definition of
Kill
dreams
Bill, which is
that
really not the case.
Your brain, while you sleep, is actually filing things that you have.
And I'm just kind of sucking up to him completely. And he's just looking at me like, oh, okay, who is this guy?
The woman in the dream who lived in this little yellow cottage in the middle of this dense, dark
forest. And I
forest.
went into the elevator, and there were 2 little fairies, like one over each shoulder, like
and
little,
she was in a wheelchair,
like from the
and she
movie,
had short black hair,
Sleeping
and
Beauty.
she had glasses on. If she took her glasses off, she had no eyes, and if she looked at you with her eyeless eyes, I suppose, you'd turn into a ghost.
My dreams seem to bring about clarity of what it is I need to be doing.
I looked in everybody that I
how
knew
I
at the
can
time,
do
my
it,
mom, my friend, my brother.
and perhaps what might
my
be
brother,
some
my friends
different
were
options.
sitting in this house, and I was outside of it, and they were watching TV, and she turned around and looked at me again with those pitiful eyes, and I became a ghost again.
Specifically a dream? Nothing other than everything. I'm not clear on it.
Hopefully you'll have this dream having heard about it.
I've entered recollection of my dream state. Are you doing a sequential series of photos that you can stack up later on to get me in an erratic pattern? It looks like my psyche is clipping along at a different pace than it would ordinarily. That was a question.
Yes.